everyone, I'm starting today's video a little bit later. It's 10:30 right now. Yeah, usually I like to start these at 9 something so I can go from like 10 till 10. But you know, we can stay up a little later tonight. It's okay. I want to do a full 12 hours testing out this foundation. I could not wait, okay? I couldn't wait. I had to do it immediately. I'm just so excited to try this. I'll probably split up this video from my previous first impression, which was the matte version of the new xxrevolution. I'll link this video down below, of course. This foundation blew me away, really. I mean, I had pros and cons to it, but it still really did blow me away and made me so much more excited to try the dewy version because I feel like I'll like this more. Today, we are using the Glow Skin Foundation Luminous Foundation. I have the shade 9.5 and 8.5. Let me just pull up the foundation on the website and I'll read you a little bit of information about it. So it's €15, 55 shades. I believe that's the same shade range as the matte version. No more dry spells with a hyaluronic acid infused hydrating formula. The medium to full coverage is perfect for customizing your beat for perfect glowing skin finish and lit from within radiance. Formulated with collagen and peptides in an epic 55 shades catering to yellow, olive, pink, neutral, cool, golden, orange, and warm undertones. So they've got a ton of shades. It's very reasonably priced and it's supposed to be more hydrating than the other one. This one also had hyaluronic acid and stuff in it, I believe, and honestly, like, I mean, spoiler alert, but I did find this one quite drying on my skin. So I'm so excited to try this one. Immediately I noticed they did say medium to full coverage, so perhaps it's a little bit more sheer than the matte version. Let's find out. The box is super cute. And the packaging on this one is so nice. It's like a pink lid rather than the kind of blackish lid. And then, oh, silver pump, just like the other one. So the same packaging other than the lid. You have your name. It's a glass packaging. I'm going to sneeze. Wow. Hello, hay fever. You're back again. You get 27 ml, which is a little bit less than average. The packaging is quite heavy, so not like the most travel friendly, but it's also quite like nice quality. So once again, I'm probably going to mix together 2 shades because I'm pretty fake tanned right now. You can see my neck is quite fake tanned. This one's probably a better match, but I feel like I might just mix a little bit of this. I did find the undertone of 9.5 was a little bit too like yellow olive for me, but my fake tan wasn't fully developed in the last video. It's fully developed now. Who knows how it's going to turn out. Let's just give it a go. Have my sponge here we're going to use. Oh, also let's prime one side. This time I'm going to prime this side of my face. So this is the Revolution Hydro Quench Primer by the same range, and it's like super glue for your face. I've talked about this a couple of times now. It reminds me of like after sun gel that you would put on like sunburn. So yeah, it smells like it too. And I've already gone around my eyebrows using the same concealer as well. This is the xxrevolution Concealer in 8.5. So I've now primed this side of my face. By the way, this is also cruelty free. It doesn't say vegan. The matte one is cruelty free and vegan, whereas this one just says it's cruelty free. But it's cruelty free, which is really amazing. And we're going to mix together 2 shades. Mixing it together on my sponge, okay. So the thickness and everything kind of looks very similar to the last one. Why am I going on both sides of my face at once? I just went on autopilot, okay. Whatever. I guess I'm just going to blend it out quickly and see if there's any difference on the prime side as well. The coverage is amazing. I don't know how that's like a medium coverage, but anyway. Just tapping that out. The color looks bang on, to be honest. Probably could be a slight touch darker, but I think this will be fine because by the time I add like bronzer and contour later, like it'll match perfect. So literally so easy to blend and it looks flawless. Like look at that. I love the finish of this one. Let's see how it kind of dries down though, because this is very freshly applied right now. Blending it onto this primed side now. And it blends out easy as well on this side, like both sides are easy as. One thing I'm really excited to test out with this one is seeing how transfer proof it is, because I honestly don't think it will be very transfer proof, but this one was like so transfer proof, like one of the most transfer proof formulas I think I've ever tried. So I'm so curious to see how this one compares. Keeping in mind it's like a dewy finish supposed to be anyway, so like I just feel like it will go everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like every time I think of like a hydrating formula, I'm like it's gonna go everywhere. I don't know. Even like a very thin layer, I just put on the thinnest layer over my redness just here, and look at the coverage. Like, you cannot complain about the coverage on these foundations. Like, that looks stunning. I love the coverage just as much as the matte one, even though it says it's like medium to full coverage. Like, I think it's full coverage. Like, that's all I have to say about it. Like, if I put it over this like red eyelid of mine, it just disappears. Look at that. It's like concealer, like all over concealer. I'm just gonna apply it under my eyes and just see if it creases under there out of interest. It probably will. You can still see a few freckles, but they're not like super obvious. I'd say the coverage on freckles is like decent as. I'm just gonna put some on my forehead. Like, you can see how little I'm taking, and it just goes. Like, I squirt out way too much on my little surface here. There's still loads left. It just goes and goes. Like, honestly, you don't even need concealer. Look at that. And if you look back at like the start of this video at my dark circles, they are like dark, you know, like in the inner corners here, and that covered it really well, like just as well as most concealers would. I do have a lot of congestion and breakouts on my chin, and this one is definitely more forgiving than the matte version, kind of needless to say, because, you know, a matte formula does show up like lumps and bumps a lot. This one, yeah, it glides over really nicely. You can still see it because it's pretty bad congestion right now, but yeah, it's not as obvious as the matte formula. It's definitely sinking in already to fine lines on my forehead. Hopefully you can kind of see. I don't know if you will be able to. It's very subtle, but like it's already starting to, like up there. Here's how it looks in the dark, where you can see like every imperfection on my face, all of my pores and everything. I'd say the matte one is ever so slightly nicer over pores. The glowy one, I feel like you can see my pores a little bit more, but it's not bad whatsoever. So like, I really don't care that much at all. Like, from a normal distance away, you can't see my pores. It's creasing under the eyes a little bit, so I think this is the formula you would want to set. Let me just do a quick touch test. Yeah, this one transfers. It feels stickier to the touch, whereas this one, if you watch that video, dried down completely to like concrete. Like, you touched it and nothing came off. So I don't think you need to set this one if you don't want to. I still did, but if you didn't want to. Whereas this one here, I would personally set because it does feel a bit sticky. Not like sticky, like I would notice it without actually like physically touching my face. Like, it doesn't feel heavy and goopy and thick on my skin. It actually feels rather lightweight. It definitely feels less drying than the matte one. Like, I don't feel uncomfortable with this on my face, but yeah, I need something. So I'm probably going to just use my translucent powder again with this one, because once again, I just don't want any more coverage. And it's very rare that that kind of happens. Like, usually, you know, it doesn't matter if you add a little bit more, but with these foundations, I'm like, if I add any more coverage, like, I'm going to end up thick. So I'm using the Well Lit People powder again, the Bio-Based Baked Brightening Universal Glow Setting Powder. Sorry, my dogs are going off. And I'm going to just run a small layer over my entire face, including under my eyes. Yeah, I feel like I probably could have done a half shade darker, but like I said, like, I'll just add bronzer and contour and all that, and it'll look fine. This one, once you set it, I feel like it's weird. It almost looks a little bit more powdery than the matte one, which is strange, because usually I feel like matte foundation and then you put like powder on top of matte foundation, it looks very like dusty, whereas this one looks more dry and dusty on the surface, but it still does have much more glow to it. Like, the lighting right now is so shocking. I can't get over this, but do you see what I mean? Like, I still have like a really nice soft glow all over. So the finish I prefer so much more, and even though like there's a little bit of surface powder, you probably won't even really pick it up on camera. Maybe you can see it a little bit, but like, I still prefer this because I would just set it with a setting spray and it would just like get rid of all those surface particles of setting stuff. Anyway, does that even make sense? I don't even know what I just said. Like, but today we will not use a setting spray. I just want to see how it wears. Primer, no primer, and that's it. And we'll do a quick flash test. Alright, I just put on my artificial lighting, so you can kind of see it in the bright natural daylight and also some studio lighting. So this one compared to the last one definitely separates a little bit more. I definitely think it's one to be set. Under my eyes it's separated a little bit, like where I used my brush, like it just kind of like moved the product almost, like it kind of slid, but that's only on the prime side. The unprimed side looks amazing, so there you go. Maybe it's just not one for this primer. I don't know. I'm hoping that, you know, in a little while the powders will settle into the foundation. It'll look really nice. Like, you know how sometimes you first powder and it looks a bit like, woo, and then after like half an hour, everything settles and looks great. I'm hoping that'll be the case. The color has not changed much. I love the finish. You can see it really well with this lighting. It's perfect. It's, you know, fresh. I look flawless, but I look less like heavy and cakey, I guess, compared to like something that's completely matte, just in my opinion. The other one actually did impress me more, I think, even though it wasn't really like my favorite finish and everything. I was just like, wow. This one, I'm like, it still looks great so far. I don't know, I'm just like, okay, like, whatever. Is it the most favorite thing I've ever put on my face? Like, no. Is it the least favorite? No. I guess we'll just see how it like goes throughout the day and see how it changes. I do feel like I can see quite a lot of texture on my skin, on my forehead right now. I feel like the other one definitely hid texture more in terms of pores, but in terms of congestion, this one's definitely still better. But like pores on my forehead, around my nose, I feel like, do you see what I mean? Like, I feel like it's kind of sinking into those areas and it's like separating a little bit almost. But the unprimed side looks pretty good in terms of pores. It's more like these little micro wrinkle things I have. I don't know. But yeah, on the flash photography, like it looks basically the same in my opinion as it does in like camera. Like what you're seeing now looks pretty much the exact same. So other than that, like I don't really know what else to say at this point. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. It's now almost 11. So I guess we'll just start the timer at like 11 and I'll wear this till at least 11 p.m. tonight and we'll see how it wears throughout the day. You know, if it stays like this all day I wouldn't be mad, but I'm just worried it's gonna get worse and like sink into pores worse, sink into wrinkles worse, fade, all of those things. But yeah, the coverage is really, really nice and it was really easy to work with. It's just kind of like the way it looks on my skin. It looks a little bit old almost, you know? Hello everyone, quick pop in. It is at 12:16. Here it is in natural light with everything on. It looks really pretty in terms of just like the finish and everything. But I have to say, like up close, my skin just looks a bit old. Like I feel like the products didn't blend the best on top of it. I feel like, you know, all these like little micro wrinkles and it is starting to grip more to the congestion. I don't feel like it's sunk into pores anymore, but I still don't think it looks like the best. Here it is super close. Like I just feel like it doesn't look as flawless as the matte version, which is strange because usually like for me, I feel like matte is usually less forgiving, but for some reason like it just looks smoother. So this is the primed side. You can see so much texture. Look at it. Everything, like every tiny bump I feel like is just amplified. The coverage is beautiful, but like just the actual like texture of my skin, I'm just like, oh my god, I've got all these bumps that I didn't even know I had, which is not ideal. Here's the unprimed side. It's a little bit better, to be honest. Like I said, I feel like it did actually look nicer without primer. I don't know if it's just that primer or what. You can see it's kind of like creasing in my nose. I am wiping my nose a lot because like I said, hay fever, yay. And it's like, yeah, creasing where I'm like moving. So I think if you've got creased skin, wrinkles, stuff like that, like it's probably not really for you. I feel like if you've got really nice looking skin, you just want like full coverage glow, like go for it. But so far, it's not like a super favorite. I don't know. Maybe I need to set it with more powder. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe I do need that extra layer of product to keep it in place. But then I just feel like it would be so heavy. Like look, it's like sinking in all over my nose, like all in here. Like the texture is just a lot. Like from far away it looks pretty nice, but yeah, just any imperfections still stand out with it, which is kind of annoying. Also, it wiped right off my nose. I forgot to say, I took off like a hoodie. I put on a hoodie and took it off, and I kind of like skimmed my nose a little bit softly, and the foundation just like completely like wiped off. So I just went over with my sponge and like pat it down before I did my bronzer and everything, just to fix it up, because yeah, that looked awful. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to this product so far. It's not a favorite. It's definitely not a favorite. And I feel like I do like the matte version more, especially, you know, if I go back in with setting spray and stuff like that and lots of highlighter. Like I feel like the matte one's nicer and more forgiving on the skin. The congestion is just getting worse. So like, you know, at the start I said it's a lot more forgiving over this area of my face where I've got really bad congestion. But yeah, the matte one, like at this stage look like this, and it's only 12 o'clock. Like, it's only been an hour, or actually it's 12:30, so it's been like an hour and a half. And I did do like a little video in different lighting on my phone on the Instagram, what is it, front camera, Instagram stories front camera, and I'll overlay it and you can kind of see like, I just feel like you can see every imperfection on my face. Like, it almost makes my skin look older. Once again, you know, from far away, like, it looks decent. It's just kind of like up close, you can see all these little bits and pieces. I'm like, that's not ideal. I feel like I would only be able to use this when my skin was quite smooth. Like, right now my skin's a little bit worse with pimples, congestion. I feel like I've said congestion 800 times. I'm due for Botox. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would only be able to wear this foundation when I was having like good skin days, because otherwise it amplifies like my issues. So I will continue. We'll see how it lasts on the skin, because, you know, if you don't have a lot of like problems on your face, you might still love this because it does look beautiful from far away. Like, the parts that look nice. The coverage is great, it's easy to blend and all of those kind of things. Shade range is amazing, it's affordable. So if it lasts all day without fading, you might still like it. Who knows? Let's just see how it goes. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, because, you know, it definitely does not look terrible. It still looks so even. It's just sinking in a little bit, you know? Hello guys, so excuse all the outfit changes as well. I am so hot right now. The sun's been like shining in on the house and it was really cold. Doesn't matter anyway. So before I talk about, you know, how I look right now, I took some videos earlier in the direct sunlight and it kind of shows the texture really well, but I took a like closer up picture. You can see where it's really separated on my nose and where it's like sinking in to pores, and it's like accentuating hairs on my face and pimples and just, yeah, like everything on my face is accentuated. This is in direct sunlight, of course. That's the front camera. And if I talk about it now, it is 5 o'clock, so it's 6 hours. Once again, this is like my minimum amount of time I'm happy with. If it looks really good for 6 hours, I'm like, all right, fair enough, like decent amount of time, then I can do a touch-up kind of thing. This right here, like, honestly, I feel like quite shiny. I kind of love the finish if it didn't accentuate so much on my face, the hairs, the texture, blah 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 blah. Like, if I got this kind of glow this far through the day, I'd be like stoked. But yeah, it's just a mixture of everything. I just don't feel like it wears the best on me. I do feel like it still looks nicer on the unprimed side, slightly. Yeah, it's like completely wiped off my nose. I'm gonna zoom you all the way in the dark and you can really see what we're working with here. Like, look at that nose, it's completely like wiped off. Like, I don't know what's creasing up and going all chunky here, that's a bit weird. In terms of the coverage on my cheeks, it's really good still. It hasn't faded. So yeah, coverage and long wear in terms of coverage, like, it doesn't fade off. Look, I'm itching my nose and it's literally wiping off. This just, yeah, wipes off. Literally, that's just gone all over my finger. Like, if I tap and show you, yeah, it transfers so much, and this is set. You can kind of see like my fingerprint on my nose as well now. I will come back later. Good evening, it is midnight, so what's that, 13 hours. At this stage I almost look sweaty, like the oils and separation that's kind of happening is like a lot. My entire forehead, my entire nose, like down around my like cheeks here, it's all oily. I feel like the texture and separation is happening a lot down here. The coverage has stayed, like the coverage down here has not faded whatsoever. I'd say it stays put really well in terms of the coverage. It's just that it kind of like sinks in, you know, sinks in and around any texture, any hairs, any wrinkles that you have. But, you know, any smooth skin, it stays put and it looks really nice. And like the oil annoys me, but it's been on for a long time, and so easy just to take your powder brush with a bit of powder and you can like just tap it over and mattify it, and it looks like, look at that, it looks really good again. So the oil's not like the biggest thing for me. The biggest thing is just like the way it looks over my texture. I'm not a huge fan. I definitely feel like this is the kind of foundation that's better for people that want a super glowy look with super full coverage, but you have fairly like smooth skin. You know, if you're just trying to cover up discoloration or freckles, redness, like whatever, then it's probably going to be best for someone like that. If you have a lot of dimply bits, hairs, creases, wrinkles, pores, it's not the most flattering. So there we have it. Would you guys try something like this? I think for the price it's still really good. It's just, yeah, something I would need to wear on like a good day, you know. I think if you want something that's even more flawless, check out my previous first impression. I have to say it did disappoint me a little bit, this one, like after trying the last one that I did. I don't know, I had real high hopes for it, and yeah, I just don't love the way it looks like up close. It's just, yeah, I just think it ages my skin. I feel like when I don't have makeup on, my skin doesn't look that bad, but when I put this foundation on, I'm like, oh my god, is that what my skin looks like, you know? And that's not really like the feeling you want to have when you are wearing foundation. Like, it just, it's a lot. The forehead, like in between my brows, like it's just a lot. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up. Let me know what foundation you want to see next. I do have the Bobbi Brown Serum Foundation. A few of you guys did want to see that, so I'll probably do that soon. Let me know if you're looking forward to it, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye! Time for bed.